Let's dive deep into the chaos of Loki, the trickster god, and unravel the mysteries behind his mischief and the threads of fate that shape his journey. Loki is a character full of contradictions, a trickster, a shapeshifter, a god who defied the gods themselves. What makes Loki so fascinating is his complexity. He's a villain, a hero, and everything in between. So, let's dive into the world of this legendary figure and explore how his story challenges our perceptions of fate, identity, and morality. Loki's nature has always been shrouded in mystery, making it difficult to pin him down as a hero or a villain. He walks the fine line between clever trickster and cunning manipulator, often leaving us wondering what his true intentions are. What drives him? Is it justice, chaos, or something else entirely? His actions can be both clever and malicious, raising questions about how we judge others based on their actions. And one thing is for sure, Loki's complexity is what makes him endlessly captivating. Let's begin by exploring Loki's roots in Norse mythology, where he is often depicted as the adopted son of Odin and Frigga. But unlike Thor, who's seen as a hero of Asgard, Loki is the ultimate outsider. Despite being among the gods, Loki is constantly stirring trouble. He is known for his shape-shifting abilities, transforming into anything from a salmon to a mare, and he uses his tricks both to help and to hinder the gods. One of Loki's most infamous stories is when he cuts off the hair of Thor's wife, Sif. This action sets off a chain of events, leading Loki to bargain with the dwarves to create powerful items, including Thor's hammer, Mjolnir. This story alone showcases Loki's dual nature. He causes chaos, but ultimately provides the gods with tools that help them in their battles. He constantly operates in that gray area between being a nuisance and being essential to the divine order. Loki's shape-shifting abilities symbolize his fluid and unpredictable nature. Unlike many other gods, he doesn't have a set form or a defined sense of self. He transforms into a mare, a fly, and even an old woman in different tales. This shape-shifting is not just a trick or a power. It's a metaphor for Loki's ever-changing personality. He's a character who can't be easily pinned down, which is why he's such a fascinating figure. Loki's fluidity reflects the contradictions that exist within us all. One moment, he's helping the gods. The next, he's working against them. His actions leave us questioning whether we can ever truly define him as good or evil. And isn't that the essence of the human condition? We're not purely one thing or the other. Loki mirrors this inner turmoil, embodying both the light and dark sides of human nature. Loki's role in mythology becomes even more significant when we look at his children, each of whom plays a key part in the Norse apocalypse, Ragnarok. His children include the monstrous wolf Fenrir, the world-encircling serpent Jörmungandr, and Hel, the ruler of the underworld. These beings, born of Loki's union with the giantess Angrboda, are symbols of chaos and destruction, mirroring Loki's own unpredictable nature. Fenrir, for example, is fated to kill Odin during Ragnarok, while Jörmungandr is destined to fight Thor to the death. These relationships emphasize Loki's role as a catalyst for the end of the world. Even though he's not always directly responsible for the chaos, he is the father of forces that will ultimately bring about the downfall of the gods. This raises the question, is Loki the orchestrator of fate, or is he bound by it just like everyone else? Now let's talk about Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods, where Loki's role becomes central. In Norse mythology, it is prophesied that Loki will fight against the gods in the final battle, siding with the giants and leading them into Asgard. But what's interesting about Loki's involvement in Ragnarok is his apparent struggle with fate. Throughout his life, Loki plays with destiny, using his cunning and trickery to escape his punishment time and time again. But in the end, even he can't escape his role in the grand design of the cosmos. This brings us to one of the most compelling aspects of Loki's character, his internal conflict between fate and free will. Is he truly in control of his actions, or is he just playing the part that destiny has written for him? Loki is often seen as an agent of chaos, but he's also a victim of fate. His journey reflects a deeper philosophical question. Are we all bound by destiny, or can we forge our own paths? One moment that perfectly illustrates this struggle is when Loki leads the giants in the battle of Ragnarok. Despite his previous loyalty to the gods, he ends up on the side of destruction. This moment forces us to question whether Loki is acting out of his own free will or simply fulfilling a prophecy. And in the end, Loki meets his tragic fate, killed by Heimdall in a final confrontation. But before Ragnarok, there's another crucial moment in Loki's story, his ultimate betrayal and punishment. After the death of the beloved god Balder, which Loki orchestrates by tricking Balder's blind brother Hod into killing him, the gods finally turn on Loki. This is a defining moment in his narrative. His cleverness and mischief have gone too far. Loki is captured and bound in a cave, with a venomous serpent suspended above him. As the snake's venom drips onto his face, Loki's wife, Sigyn, stands by his side, catching the poison in a bowl. But whenever the bowl is full, she must leave to empty it, and in those moments, Loki is racked with agonizing pain. This punishment is a stark contrast to the clever, free-willed Loki we've seen before. In this moment, he becomes a tragic figure, bound by the consequences of his actions. Now let's shift our gaze to modern interpretations of Loki, especially in the Marvel Universe, where he has become an iconic figure. Marvel's Loki retains many of the traits from Norse mythology. He's still a trickster and shapeshifter, still constantly in conflict with Thor, and still driven by a complex mix of envy and love for his family. But the Marvel films add more depth to his character, giving him a vulnerability that makes him more relatable. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Loki's relationship with Thor becomes a central theme, and his motivations are explored in greater detail. We see Loki as not just a trickster, but a character who is constantly seeking his place in the world. He's not driven purely by a desire for chaos or power. There's also a deep-seated need for belonging and recognition. This dynamic adds new layers to his story, making him more than just a villain. Loki's story is one of tragedy and triumph, mischief and destiny. He walks the fine line between chaos and fate, blurring the lines between the two. Through his story, we're forced to confront our own perceptions of morality and the nature of fate. Is Loki a hero, a villain, or something in between? Perhaps the answer lies in his complexity, a character who defies simple categorization and invites us to see the gray areas in our own lives. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the world of Loki, the god of mischief and fate. If you have any thoughts on Loki's role in Norse mythology or the Marvel Universe, be sure to share them in the comments below. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're looking for more mythological explorations. Until next time, keep questioning the mysteries of fate and destiny.